Ready? All right, welcome everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:32 and start off with the roll call. Joe Dela Cruz, Commissioner.
Alex Hastings, Commissioner.
Bill Keep, Commissioner.
Jake Dunnigan, Commissioner.
Creating our full quorum now. Perfect. All right, public communications. Anyone, any of the commissioners?
Friday is the state of the.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're just hold, you gotta hold it for a
I
second.
gotta hold it.
Yeah.
And then release it. I go.
Hold it till it turns green.
Yeah,
Oh, then
just
take
use
that
this
one. Steal the other.
It's like just use it. It was like me, don't worry about it.
Friday is the state of the area, of Mystic, that the chamber's putting on. I'll be there. The breakfast is good. It's at the Hilton in Mystic at 7 o'clock, and then they have the chamber's annual meeting is after that. So, if anybody's interested, I'm sure the tickets are still available.
Excellent.
What time does that start?
It's early. I think it's 7:30.
Is that tomorrow?
What day of the week?
I can look.
Today's Thursday? It's tomorrow morning. It's in like 12 hours.
All right, only thing for me is I was able to interview my fellow commissioner, Mr. Self here, and I thought that was a great time. And also wanted to report on we talked about a drag queen bingo that we were gonna do for Community Speaks Out. It was a fundraiser, had over 150 people there and raised about $10,000 right at the Elks Club. And the Elks is always a great host. I want to thank them too. So it was really successful fundraiser and a lot of fun. Approval of minutes. Anybody have any questions on the minutes? I need a motion.
So move.
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that was easy. That passes. Old business. Business outreach efforts. That's all of us. Anybody have any to report?
Regarding student district, I think that's on the 20th.
My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's the 20th? Okay.
7:30.
That actually opens up my morning.
It's a good thing you brought it. It's a good thing you brought it up. It's a good thing you brought it up. So,
Plenty of time to get tickets.
yeah.
Yeah.
So on the old business part, it's a business outreach. I personally didn't get to go to. I ate at a lot of establishments and didn't get a chance to talk to any owners. But anyone else?
With the blizzard.
With the blizzard,
I
yeah.
was called into storm duty. I had to do a lot of overtime.
I think we all been shoveling a
Yeah,
lot
it's pretty bad.
more than I want to.
Yeah. I shoveled this morning. I still shovel this morning.
I know. All right, so new business, Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region Sector presentation. Thank you for both being here. If you want to just introduce yourselves.
Now we're on, right? Green light?
Green light, green means go.
Yeah, so my name is Paul Whitescarver, and RT Brown is the deputy here for sector. Just a little bit about myself, since Joe brought up my
Legend.
former role. I used to be the commanding officer of the submarine base, retired Navy captain, and I took over at sector 2022, I think. Say both RT and I started at the same time, so roughly the same time. So we do have a presentation here. I did read your bylaws and your goals and your report from last year, and you're probably one of the more functioning EDCs that we have of the 22 municipalities and boroughs that we have in our region. Sector is a economic development district designated by the EDA, also designated by the state, and our CEDS, our Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, is approved by the COG, Council of Governments, goes to the state and goes to the federal government. So what that does for us is it opens the window for federal grants through the EDA for our region. So that's the significance of being designated an EDD. The other thing that we do, and we'll get into this in the presentation, is we offer small business loans and grants. We have several different buckets that we do for that, and RT will go over that here in a bit. But with that said, when I went online and looked at what the EDC does here, so if you go to, this is what the EDA represents as what an economic development, or economic development is. And you guys kind of took that into your definition, but you made it a little shorter, which is great. So go to the next slide. This is our EDD and what we represent. This is what we can represent for a window for federal grants, but our loans and business grants cover the northeast region of the state in Windham County and go all the way Middlesex County. So we cover a pretty large area. So one of the things at EDCs, you operate by statute, which is in your bylaws, statute 7 Tech 136. And what I did was I looked through here and I looked at, all the things that you ought to be hitting out of state statute. So, and what we sector can provide you as an EDC. So if you looked at economic conditions, if you go on our website and you go to our digital SEDS, it has state book data there that you can use for any type of grant production. I don't know if you've used that or not. I know Clayton is familiar with this because he's on our EDC and also on our board of directors. Jobs EQ is it's sort of like you can get the similar data that you can get from state book, but it can do like a what if
Economic impact.
economic impact. If you added, say, 8,000 jobs to the region, what might that do to your requirements in the area, since we're all thinking about electric boat and what they can do to us. We do have ArcGIS, and then we have this other tool called Placer AI that we've been using. And what that does is it uses your cell phone data and where you travel. And if you go into a particular business, it will track you. And it'll aggregate all the data of everybody that went into that one geographic location. And it can tell where everybody went and where everybody came in.
It's wonderful, Paul.
Yes. So it's a pretty cool tool. We've had it for the past year and we'll probably keep it for the next year. But it's specific to our EDD, and that's how we pay for it, right? So of the 280,000 people that are in the region, that's how they come up with the number that we pay for that. And just to let you know, all the municipalities pay into sector at 45 cents per capita. So it's not like we are not here trying to help you. We have a pretty good reason to help you, right? That's part of what we do. I think.
Put that on our website.
What's
Can you
that?
Put that link on that tool that you just mentioned.
I can't because it's licensed data, but you can ask us to do something for you. Like if you wanted to know, like you guys were talking about business outreach, and you're getting ready to go visit a business, we could probably give you data for that one business at one geographical location, what their max time period is, what's the max period of time, or that time of day when they have the max participation for that. We can tell you where they go after that. I mean, it's pretty cool stuff.
Now do you have to get permissions on your phone to be tracked like that, or that's just what's happening?
You have to have your location. I don't know if you ever notice you get a prompt, do you want to turn your location data on or off?
Yeah.
So Google Maps, Apple Maps, any kind of app that uses geolocation data, Placer AI is aggregating. It's anonymous. They don't know who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't say I want to track Joe.
Okay.
But so they aggregate all that data.
Everyone knows I'm eating at all these restaurants, so it's not gonna make a difference to me, but.
Example, the event that you were talking about a little bit earlier, we could take a look at that event and then do a comparison between that specific night and nights where there weren't events, and provide some data on where did people eat before they went to the event, and then where did they go after the event. So it's interesting from a sort of a migration perspective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had it for a year. We've kind of been experimenting with it. I tried to get the commercial realtors to purchase this for us like 3 or 4 years ago. I tried to get the council of governments to get it, and it's not
Where do you
cheap.
buy it from?
Huh?
Where are you getting it?
From,
It's a service.
it's a
That
service.
we subscribe to.
It costs,
That service.
It's called
Yeah.
Placer AI. Placer.
Placer AI.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it costs us roughly $38,000 a year.
Yeah.
But, and we're just kind of, after this, I wanted to get it for an experiment for this past year.
To pilot it.
To pilot it, to see what it actually could provide us. Several of the municipalities have used data for events, like Norwich has the glow event with all the balloons or whatever. We did a little thing for them. We did something for Op Sale or for the Maritime Heritage Festival. It's pretty cool stuff. We'll get it for the next year. I was already talking to our executive committee and they'd like to keep it for one more year. But we need to figure out how to monetize it because it comes out of some of our funds that,
Have you spoken to Kevin Brown?
say again?
Have you spoken to Kevin?
Oh, yeah, he's the chair of my board.
Oh, see, I don't even say.
That's right.
And he's been a heavy user.
He's been the heaviest user, actually, so.
If it was, if someone came in and were looking, I don't know, buy a piece of property or they were interested in an area,
Like a
you could
commercial
give,
type?
you could give them data at hour wise for how much traffic it's getting. It's doing all that stuff too.
Yep.
And then how long would that take to, like, if we were interested in an area, or say Mystic at 5 o'clock at night, we were wondering which direction people were coming from and where they were going. That's something that's easily produced and like reportable and.
Yeah, we need a couple of days to generate the report, but yeah, we can. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't know if
with
there was a big time in between or if it was just you said, say we're asking about town hall annex and what's the
Yeah.
travel rate here and how many people use this building each day?
Right.
Yep.
Like for us, like we're a nonprofit at Community Speaks Out. And in my mind, what I'm thinking is it would be nice for a town, city or municipality
Yep.
to know that a nonprofit business or location was actually being frequented
Right.
and not just an empty building
Right.
that's not paying taxes. So not saying that we're sitting here trying to track that, but it would give us a good picture on, to me, the nonprofits in our area. Cause I'm thinking of it right away. We have this high volume and traffic that we use this building for, but we also took it off the tax rolls.
Mhm.
So,
Right. There's about a 3-day lag, so it's almost live data, but if you had an event yesterday and asked us to generate the report, the data wouldn't be there yet.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of time for the data to get populated into the.
And when does it?
I just want to jump in real quick. Place AI is extremely cool, and there's a lot of questions and a lot of features to it. We had Kate, who's the data guru for sector, give Corinne and I a presentation. And for the sake of time, I do want to allow them to get through their presentation.
Sure.
Oh,
But
sorry.
if you want to do something on Placer AI, then we can explore that. It is extremely cool and
But
very
Paul,
fascinating.
It's a good tool. I think the planning departments for all your towns should be using that. Because I remember when I was trying to get Costco to Groton
Mhm.
from Gretchen Cipriani. We didn't have the data for all those information that you just shared,
Right.
and Gretchen had it. For whatever godforsaken reason, we didn't act on it. Eastline did,
Mhm.
and hence Costco went to Eastline instead of Groton.
Yeah, but look at all that traffic,
Yeah.
all the construction you have to be dealing with right now.
I'd rather have that tax money here than
Yeah.
Eastline.
I get it.
All right, sorry,
Uh,
go ahead.
Go back one slide. Yeah, so the other things that we can do is we can recommend zoning changes, affordable housing. If you go to our website, it's got the Eastern Housing Survey that Sebelius did. If you wanted to click on that and go in and look at the Groton data, it's pretty cool. POCD generation, every town has to do the 10-year requirement. We do a 5-year requirement, and our SEDS does look at everybody's POCD to make sure that's input for the region's comprehensive economic development strategy. We do some coordination. I'd like to do a lot more. I go to the Council of Governments every month. Chamber of Commerce, all 3 chambers that represent this area are members of my board of directors, to keep everybody intact. We did some stuff with Connecticut Main Street, Advanced Connecticut, CCM, you know, all those things that sector participates, I'm sure that some of you participate in those things as well. Okay, next. One of the things that you ought to be doing is advertising, which you guys do. I was just looking at your stuff, and you submit an annual report. So you kind of meet all the wickets that you're required to per that statute, which is good. One of the things that the statute does say, which I find interesting, it says that you should manage your appropriations and you should seek
Yeah.
up to 1/20th of 1% of your grand list for economic development. I don't think you've done that.
No, we done that. We left
I'm
that.
sure your economic development department would love that kind of cash flow.
Yeah. John and I have spoken about that for
Yep,
10
okay.
years.
Yep, next. This is something that Kate put together, and I'll turn it over to RT to go through.
So, as Clayton mentioned, Kate is on staff with us. She's been with us about a year, and she loves to dig into the data. And so, we asked her to put together some information for you that's Groton specific information that you might find interesting. So, based on the Secretary of State data, this is business formations year by year going back to 2020. So interestingly, you can see between 2020 and 2025, there's a good uptick in the number of businesses that are registered in the town of Groton. And the percent still active. I mean, it's only natural that as the businesses are newer, that the percentage is higher. But we'll get into that a little bit more in just a moment. So it's increased steadily from 2020, and the survival rates are improving with each cohort. Each cohort is showing a strong performance. This I find really interesting, this business survival and longevity. So businesses that were started in 2020 have an average lifespan of 2.9 years. I mean, we hear all the time, startups is a risky business, because a lot of them come in and come out. But it seems like, that the longevity is improving. I mean, some of those numbers are naturally going to get shorter, but it's just, for us, it's interesting data. And the fact that there's 270 businesses that were registered last year, that's a lot in one town.
Though none of those could have died in 3 years because they were.
Right, exactly. So summary, we already talked about some of this. So yeah, businesses that past 3 years are much more likely to persist. So the business going back to probably 2022, it'll be interesting to see, if those businesses are alive at the end of this current calendar year. So this one's, to me, it's super interesting. So a lot of the businesses, and so this kind of puts things into perspective, are real estate related. So many times, you see a new business that's registered and it's 123 Main Street LLC. That's, somebody who's either, the real estate holdings or, that. So exactly, but the adjacent fields like remodeling, there's an uptick in that activity because, people are seeing real estate as a potentially good investment, either personally or it could be outside businesses, larger corporations that are buying up multifamily or mixed use properties to as an investment strategy. So most businesses are service-based, as I said, tied to housing and the services related to housing, construction, real estate. Those are the businesses that we're seeing a lot of registrations for. So from demographically in these categories, women-owned businesses is very strong, as is minority-owned businesses. So just interesting data. Again, women-owned and minority-owned businesses are surviving at equally or higher rates. No distinguishing significantly higher failure rates that we could tell. And differences reflect timing rather than structural barriers, as we were just talking about, how long they've actually been in business. So, as you have highlighted in your goals, and I just picked up a little bit on as you were discussing, a key strategy might be to take a look at the businesses that, were registered 2 years ago and try to develop an outreach plan to connect with those businesses if they're at a point, there's a point where, a business might be looking at a critical failure. So could we surround them with the right resources to help them, stay in business just a little bit longer? It might be interesting to think about, some sort of outreach plan to help encourage a better survival rate. Okay.
So this is what we do. I already mentioned a lot of this, so we don't have to go through it that much. What sector's role? Basically, everything you see on that slide are things that we've kind of gotten involved in. RT brought in these terms called economic gardening a couple of years ago for us, and that's really what our Sector Rise grant program and our small business loans that we're going to talk about here next. So next slide.
Yeah. So some just to add a little bit. I'm starting to put together some workshops about these concepts. So stay tuned. I'll get that to Clayton. Yeah.
We crafted that word economic development, gardening. This EDC did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more than 12 years ago.
It's
by Robert Frink.
Yep.
Who's but if I may ask you, you provided us data. Where did Katie get this data? What's the origination of this data?
The Secretary of State.
Okay.
Yeah.
I worked on this back in 2019.
Okay.
Until 2022.
Okay.
There was even a bill, which is called SB 625.
Okay.
The state of Connecticut and all 169 municipalities do not have an accurate data
Probably not.
of the transition of the businesses in and out or within the state of Connecticut. It still does not exist till today. CONCAT tried to do it, CCAT tried to do it. None of them have the actual composite. The problem being and the Secretary of State doesn't have it. And the only entity that has it, I'm just sharing this for the sake of time, the only entity that has it is CT, Department of Revenue Services. And they will not share it with the state of Connecticut.
And this is.
And I worked with Scott.
Is this
who was the
transitioning
secretary.
out of the state or what?
Within the state, out of the state, because they have no obligation to report to the state or the municipality when they leave.
When
the
they
town.
leave.
Right.
Yep.
We just see the dissolution of the entity.
We only see,
Yeah.
you only see that, and you only see those that come in, because then they go to the
They
town
have to
collectors.
register. Yeah.
But outside of that, and even the Department of Revenue Services, you don't have to report it if you have less than 199 employees. So we do
Yeah.
not have, so that data bugged me for decades.
Yeah.
And we tried to implement something a long time ago with Google.
Okay.
At that time, it was called Google Brain. And unfortunately, it didn't pass.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's called SB 625.
Yeah. No, that's it. I've never tried to investigate.
So our data is
Yeah. Yeah.
the numbers that I had to tell you because otherwise I'm keeping something away from you.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So it
appreciate
is not factual.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kevin Brown knows about this.
Okay.
Okay, so some of the stuff we do, we offer business advising, no-cost business advising, similar to what someone might receive from SBDC or SCORE. We have a full-time on-staff business advisor, Tom. He's great. He'll do, a myriad of activities with a business to help them, have a better solid foundation, access funding or what have you. We have our sectorized grant program. I'll go into more detail in a moment, but that's to help small businesses. expand, and then we have non-traditional lending. So businesses that would have a difficult time obtaining traditional financing, we're there to help, bridge that gap if it's needed.
Do you work with the CEDF?
They're similar. They're also a non-traditional lender. We don't, I mean,
Partner?
yeah, I mean, if maybe there might be a deal where we would partner, but it hasn't happened since I've been with Zender. Yeah.
His name John, I think.
Okay, so I took a look at the activity between our loans and the grant program since Sector Rise has been in place for the last like 3.5 years. 12 businesses have received funding, slightly over 186,000 to those 12 businesses, and a wide range from, coffee and tea manufacturing, shellfish farming. That was Sixpenny Oyster received a grant from us, a great group of folks. A machine shop, fitness, and most recently, we just approved two days ago a toy store that's been in Groton for many years. They received a grant from us.
So we're down, right down here.
Lee's, yeah. And we have I think it's 7 active loans for businesses here in Groton, totaling 1.4 million. So again, all this funding is to help a business grow and expand. So
Are you putting any more ask for this particular session?
So let him finish and then we'll talk about that.
Interestingly, last June, we held our first pitch competition, and a business, Coors Ice Cream, was the winner of that. And it's a Groton-based business that is yet to open, but they finally signed a lease. They had to go back and they had one location, it didn't work out. They've now identified another location over by the post office. So they have a signed lease, and they will be receiving $7,500 because they won the pitch competition.
Plus they have a loan with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they do have a loan with us. Okay, so to talk about entrepreneurship a little bit, I have spoken with someone from Fitch High School. I'm really trying to put in place something for youth entrepreneurs. So it's not on the street yet, but that's something I'd love to see happen. Really introduce even as early as middle schoolers to the concepts of entrepreneurialism. I think it's something that'll help them throughout their lives. But I'm in discussion with several educators in the region to try to put something in place for that. Gotta make sure I'm in sync between. Sector Rise, that's our grant program. Right now it's got 2 buckets. There's a $10,000 bucket, mostly Main Street businesses access that. Then we have another bucket of funding that's $25,000. That's more for employer-based firms. A lot of the folks that access the $10,000 bucket, Main Street businesses that have, a sole proprietor or a small LLC with just 1 or 2 people working for it. But I was shocked when we started to receive data from the survey that we send out. We do a performance report, and our little grant program that gives out $10,000 here and there has led to quite a few full-time jobs created as well as part-time jobs created. So that's across the region. That's not in town of Groton. So that's really neat for me to see. I was surprised by that.
Is that internship as well?
Internships? We don't track that. This is full and part-time.
So the Sector Rise program is funded through DECD for us. We have roughly, I want to say $700,000 a year that we can provide in small business grants. So it's a pretty good chunk of change for this region.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but.
Not a lot.
So 37 businesses have reported increase of the people that have responded to our progress report, increased customer sales, 12% no increase, but some good amount of market expansion and partnerships, And yeah, so just interesting data from our perspective. We like to see, or I shouldn't say we, the committee that does this, we have a committee that does the review of all these grants. They really like to see grants going to like equipment and machinery, technology system upgrades, infrastructure improvements. Just so you know, if we have a grant that comes in and like 100% of it is going to professional services for like a digital marketing firm, that kind of grant won't be regarded well with the committee. We really need applicants to have a well-rounded project description and budget. And for the most part, the committee will review those favorably. I've done a lot of talking. I'm turning it back to you for APEC.
Yeah, so the other programs that we have, we didn't talk about the loans, but we do support the DECD's Boost program, 4.5% up to $500,000 per loan. Only stipulations, you got to have cash flow and you got to have a debt service ratio above 1.15. We also do, as we mentioned before, EDA loans up to a $500,000. That's also a non-traditional loan. Like to couple it with if you go to a bank and maybe they can cover, $1 million loan, we could probably do the 500,000 that you need for the equipment or the space. So that's basically what we use for our revolving loan funds when we talk about that. We also host the Apex Accelerators for the state. They're a state organization that assists basically suppliers for DoD businesses or government businesses get that first contract. So I would tell you we have 7 counselors throughout the state. What I gather from that, if you're a supplier, and I'm sure Joe probably understands this more than any, you got to once you get your foot in the door, it might take you 3 years to get your foot in the door to be a supplier for DoD. But once you're there, it's pretty good. So what Apex Accelerator counselors do is assist you through that process, whether it be getting on sam.gov or the bid match process or any of those particular things. The Apex Accelerator counselors can help you with that. And Marisol Herrera is our state director, does that for us. And with that said, I think we'll open it up for questions if you have any questions. I would like to point out a couple of things before we get to that. Sector does do a lot of partnerships, or we have our finger in just about everything that you can think of when it comes to the state. Eastern Workforce Investment Board, I'm on their board of directors. I'm on the EMA, Eastern Alliance for Manufacturing, our Advanced Manufacturing Alliance. I'm on their board of directors. We are part of the Electric Boat Partnership, trying to improve the electric boats wherewithal within the community. 4 different buckets that we're working on there. Transportation, obviously parking, transportation with 8,000 more people coming into the region. Healthcare, not healthcare, but childcare. If you're not familiar with the new pilot that the state has for TriShare, if you are a pilot program within our economic development district or our county, Electric Boat is part of a partnership, but any business can apply for this childcare TriShare partnership. So the state covers 1/3, the business covers 1/3, and the person covers 1/3. And it's on the Learn website if you have businesses that are trying to do that. It's kind of a unique pilot. I think it'll be here for probably 2 years, and then we'll see where it goes from there. The other
We
thing
need
that
to post that.
what
Not many people know this stuff.
that's right.
We need to post that on our website so that it's aware.
The other thing that we participate in, you lost my train of thought there, George.
Sorry.
The partnership, we are also part of the Child Care Collaborative with the United Way, trying to assist them with family child care centers. They've just started a program with Electric Boat where if you're a family child care center, i.e. you want to have child care in your home, they'll assist you in setting that up so that we can build the capacity in our region for childcare that way. So another great avenue that we work with.
Is there a measure of a lack of capacity or how much capacity there is yet to be filled or anything like that?
Yeah. So the United Way, probably it's on their website. They've done a study.
Okay.
And it's really, there's a lack of capacity, but if you were, RT loves it when I say this, but there's really a lack of saints in the area. Because, you have to
we
be,
need to grow, we need to grow more saints.
we need to grow more saints to actually get
There's a lack
into
of
doing
saints in a
that,
lot of
because it's not a very high paying job, right? To be a person that deals with childcare, like if this, the state has requirements, for every one childcare provider, you can have, 6 children or
Depending on your
3
age and
infants.
stuff.
Yeah, it's, that's a work field that I just say you got to be a saint to do it. The base has childcare. I'd go up there, I don't know, once a quarter, and I would watch those people and I would go, oof.
Yep.
I'm glad you're doing that, because I couldn't do
I used to say that to my wife.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Some of my other roles is I'm on the board of directors for the Connecticut Port Authority. So I'm the chair of that board. So if you wanted to talk about offshore wind, I could probably talk about that. RT is on TechCon board, Makerspace board.
Yeah, Connecticut Blue Economy Coalition.
Yeah, so we try to get involved in just about anything we can when it comes to economic development. Steve has done a lot of things for us as well, so I'm glad to see you guys sitting over here for with Groton.
What about the workforce?
Workforce
Governance
Investment
workforce.
Board.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm on their board of directors.
okay.
Uh,
So there's the event next month, or is it the month after?
there's a matchmaker coming up, but that's in Hartford. But EWIB, they're really there if you were to look at it for electric boat. But many of the other small businesses that are feeders into electric boat or not participate on the Workforce Investment Board and EMA. What amazes me is some of the small businesses that aren't associated with electric boat that are participants in that. So how do you get job training for those particular things, like in plastics
Yeah.
or it's a pretty unique board.
No, I just get all the stuff from Kelly.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to figure out where us here in Groton, New London, and obviously now Waterford, going to meet the capacity needs of those kind of particular skills that they will be needing in less than 8 months from now, to address the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. So
I don't think you can. Just to be
we are
honest
on
with you.
TV, Paul. You have me-
So you said that, all these businesses are failing in about 2.5 years, 3 years or so. Is there any research or any guidance on, okay, at 2 years, it does an influx of cash or an influx of a particular resource mean that they're going to survive? Like, what do we do with that information?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think I have an answer sitting right here, right now. But as I was saying, I think it might be an interesting exercise to take a look at the businesses that registered, for example, in I guess it'd be 2022 and 2023.
Yeah, because we've discussed talking to new businesses or maybe like right after they form, but maybe they don't really need us until
that
year in,
2.9 year mark.
Right.
How long have you been in business, Jake?
What's that? Right there, 3. So that's another thing I was going to ask.
Very curious.
Well, no, and
You're
the
trying
other,
to stay in business.
what's that?
Are you trying to stay in business?
Right.
No, not if I can get off this board by losing my business, I'll take no.
What is that?
Our grant program is open this month. It closes.
Okay, no, so the other piece of the data there is that dissolution doesn't necessarily mean failure either, right? I mean, so you could have been sucked up by another business, or it performed the function that it was meant to do in the first instance. So what do you have any granularity there, like what that? looks like?
I mean, I have read so no, I don't.
Okay.
No, like why a business dissolves. No, I don't. But I mean, I do know, like academically, a healthy they call it birth and death rate of
Yeah.
businesses is good because
Sure, yeah.
that shows I can never say the word,
Dynamism.
dynamism within the market. I don't have that statistic, but those are great questions and happy to dig
I
into
would
it.
tell you anecdotally, for the businesses that have failed with the loans that we provided,
Mhm.
they do not understand, profit and loss, revenue. They don't understand QuickBooks. If
No,
you
it's core
were,
concepts. It's core.
it's the core concepts of running a business that they lack.
Mm.
And, that's something that, the CEDF programs, they may have stipulations that if we give you a loan, you're gonna come in for training. But I would, that would be a big, the ones that have failed for us didn't have that core competency for business.
Do you have a core competency training of some kind?
We do now. We inherited those.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those available to our businesses?
Well, it's in the form of our on-staff business advisor.
Yeah.
They can
The Eastern
work
Chamber
with
also.
him.
Eastern Chamber, well, we actually go down once a month and sit,
Okay.
Tom goes down there once a month at the Eastern Chamber to do that. With
I'm
school-
talking about a binder that says, "Hey, dummy, you need to know this in order to survive 3 years," because 60% of businesses are going to fail.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything currently, but it's a great idea. It'd be great for us to put that together because it wouldn't be
You
hard.
could take my 45 cents and start with it.
Yeah,
I could have one of those
yeah.
books.
Like a simple curriculum.
Yeah, I
right?
don't think you have to recreate the wheel on this.
No, there's
There's got to be something out there, but it would be very useful for us to, interact with somebody who's struggling. Like, you start here, right?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
somebody who's coming to us to say,
Yeah.
"Well, I want to start something." Well, if you don't know these 10 things on this checklist,
Yeah.
do that homework first, right? Like, go take a Three Rivers course on accounting, right? Like,
Score does that.
Score does.
It's just that
But I like
You
it.
could tell them.
I like the idea of us having one too. It's
Yeah.
a sector branded, like
Yeah.
just simple curriculum for business
yeah, and
survival.
like Bill said, you don't have to rewrite it. It's got to be.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a ton of
something out there,
stuff.
I'm sure, but something. I'm a checklist fanatic. If it can be made a checklist, I will make it a checklist
Yeah.
because I hate thinking.
What's your business?
I'm an attorney. It's the worst.
don't say that. Don't say
Every attorney I've ever met, that's the exact same thing. It's like, don't do it, but I.
No. I'm a fantastic attorney. I'm a terrible businessman. But the thing is that the executive function is tiring, right? And so, like, if you can get somebody who just wants to I just want to groom dogs, right? Okay, great. Here's a checklist of the things that you got to pay your employees this. You got to do payroll. You got to do, and if all that can just be take it out of your head and put it on a piece of paper, that's going to make somebody last.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
30 years.
Yeah, I took note of that.
I just wanted to comment on the childcare stuff. We have, in our shop alone, we have people that are, they're maybe $100,000 a year people working in the union, and they're paying $30,000 for daycare.
Right.
So, but after taxes on 100,000, you're bringing home 70, and then 30 of which is going to.
That's right.
And to me, the economy, and when we talk about loss of employable people, it's a lot of times the spouse that's staying home that used to be an accountant or that used to be a mechanic or whatever they were doing, they're removed now. And that third idea kind of is a good concept to me because at least the business is able to hold on to them. And it can't make horrible sense to go to work. If you ever give somebody a chance to stay home with their kids for the same amount as, well, that's arguable for some parents, but in the end, though, I think we really got to concentrate on that because the problems we see it, we could lose somebody as a mechanic just daily based on no childcare, and if anything happens with the kid, the spouse can't leave the job, and now we're out for that person for the day.
Had you heard of the Tri-Share program?
I hadn't.
Go to the
So-
Learn website.
Yep. Thanks. Any other questions for sector?
No, but I'm gonna have to go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
Don't-
teach at 6:30. So,
What do you teach?
channels of distribution,
Say that.
channels of distribution,
Oh, okay.
undergraduate marketing course. Well,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
All right.
So,
We got
have you put a poker in this year's legislative bill? For an ask?
We have not, but I'd love to talk to you on how to do that because sector's not very good at that. If you looked at, since you brought it up, right? The middle of the state seems to have a line item. I'm not sure why Eastern Connecticut doesn't.
And the western part of the state.
Yeah,
I would happy to take it offline another day.
Yeah.
We need it.
I have your
Even-
contact information, George. I'll get in touch with you.
You've had it for a long while now.
Yep.
I think it is more prevalent for us to try and get something in the current legislative session for all kinds of things for Eastern Connecticut, not
Yes.
just Groton. So only because from my experience for the last since 20, ever since August, our town has been touted to get state and federal money. Every quarter. But I don't see that money dripping down here.
Mhm.
So we are used in a pole position, but I don't see that, and I know we are being recorded, so I'm saying it on the record. So we need to get our lion's share of it. For those things, workforce, supply chain, startups, all of those things are key for this region, and we can't do that out of goodwill.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming
Thank
in,
you.
the presentation, really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Next under new
Yeah,
business,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about our business appreciation event, which we'll make sure we get invites to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So I did the follow-up and the research around who would be willing to host us for our business appreciation event. Taqueria Cinco, no go. Yeah, don't do breakfast, busiest day, as we expected. That was kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And then the barn, I did not hear back from the owner over there. I also reached out to Wooden Tap. They won't allow outside caterers and don't do breakfast. So I get that, just thinking of cool spots though.
Yeah.
And then I also tried to work with the restaurant group that's opening Impastas on right here on Route 1. And we have a growing healthy relationship with them. So I explored if they would be willing to host us in their new space before it opens or wherever it would be. They weren't ready for that right now, but Fisherman at Groton Long Point is another restaurant that they own. And it looks like that's going to be our best option.
Why again, Wooden Tap?
Just it's a cool. Why not Wooden Tap? They don't do breakfast and won't allow an outside caterer. So my question to them was, you have a great space, you have a cool business. I understand you don't provide breakfast. What if we brought in a caterer to do that? And they said they won't allow that for liability.
Who did you speak with?
The manager.
Did you speak to the owner?
No.
Try that.
Well, we have a location that could work, I think, in the meantime. Do you want to talk about?
Because it is a new restaurant right in the middle of town. We have supported them in the planning department with all of those, and I think it is a good way for the Barnetts, to the owners, to be given that broad exposure by all the businesses.
Yeah, I think, and they were very open to hosting different events and at different times of day. It's just,
Maybe not
yeah,
breakfast,
exactly. Yeah, it wasn't
maybe they'll do happy hour.
something.
I'm sure they would do that.
You've been over there.
More education based, so we can use this space and do that in the evening. So I think instead of trying to force them into this one type of event that doesn't work for them, we can still utilize them as a partner, but maybe not for this instance.
Yeah, and that was generally true of everybody I spoke to that, they're interested in something else.
For the owner.
So we got a good response from the fishermen. They are able to provide, they aren't generally open for breakfast, but are willing to host us. They're going to put together a catering menu that is within our budget around what we used last time at Par 4. The day works for them. It's also nice thinking about the time of year. This is gonna be May 5th, early in the morning. This is like a beachfront restaurant essentially. There is a small patio there. I didn't get into the details about, confirming everything because that wasn't my decision to make. But I know we were gonna vote on it, but there's,
My only
you're not
problem
picking between many options right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
so far, got a long way.
So far to go, oh, this town, it's,
like
it's 3 miles.
I know.
Down the road.
Town is not 3 miles. The city of Groton is 3 miles.
Well, the good thing for me, the reason I'm a yes, it's a mile from my house, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
I could ride my bike.
Yeah, you
So,
could ride
and I love the idea of Greater Fisherman. I love the idea that we circle around the entire part of the length and breadth of Groton, Greater Groton. And I'm in support of that. I'm just thinking about our businesses who may say, oh, so far away. Gotta drive 2
This,
minutes.
I think if you look at it by map, we're probably exact opposite side of where we did the first one.
Yep.
So it may be
Yep.
good to kind of do, under that theory, maybe down Route 12 on the next one or something, or
Yeah.
just kind of create.
Especially if we
Yeah.
get some of the Mystic businesses too that are coming.
Yep.
It's
And
easier for them to come down.
I'll also mention, we picked Tuesday morning very intentionally, and we had success with this last year because a lot of these businesses, like service industry, restaurant industry, in this area, they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Mhm.
So it gave a lot of people the opportunity. I got that feedback when I did outreach last year.
In
Um,
the old days, with the GBA, we used to do it at the Mystic Marriott and a couple of the hotels.
Sorry.
In town.
yeah, so, keep that in mind for future events as well.
So we used to do, that's where we used to gather about 8 o'clock and we were done by 9:30.
Yep.
And and they had the capacity facility and nothing is happening there in that time of the morning anyway.
Mhm.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I think that we have a commissioner who might have some ins there too.
The commissioner, that's what?
Who might have some good ins with the hotel industry. Sony is all over that. So
You have the power, you give them a call.
so with that, we're gonna go with the fisherman. I will call them and confirm over the next couple of days. I'm waiting for the chef to get me that menu back. Lauren and I will make the invitation and have that for you as long as the printer's good with everything within 2 weeks. So just on that note, also a little bit tied to business outreach, we have the flyer version of the survey is at the printer. We'll send them the invitation real quick now that we've confirmed this. And you all be able to pick those up as soon as they're ready. So I'll just send an email out to the commission to let you all know when those materials are here at the annex.
Are they gonna have to RSVP? If say we drop it off, they'll scan and just say they come and
Yes.
let
Yes.
numbers and.
So that's a great question and another important note. So we will set a minimum and I'll have to ask this of the caterer too, is a minimum number of attendees to confirm to be able to move forward. Because if we're planning a breakfast for 50 or 60 people and we only get 30 responses, then, that might not, it's not going to be feasible in that way.
Right. It's gonna be 10 of us. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So that hopefully is a big motivation for outreach over the next couple of months. And it's really nice going out to these businesses and just saying, hey, we're doing something to thank you. And we don't have an ask. We're just happy that you're here doing business in Groton. Here's the details. Please RSVP.
When you RSVP, does it have like name, email, business name?
We'll make sure all of that is in there
Yeah,
and,
'cause I
and
was
email
like,
and
I
everything.
feel like if they're reaching out to that, it was like sometimes it's easier to get like a name and email
Yep,
out of that
exactly.
than be like, can I have your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your name and email, and they're like, it's like,
Yep. And
Okay.
Lauren and I also talked about, at the event last year, if you weren't there, Corinne kind of gave a quick first we obviously thanked everybody for being there, but Corinne gave a quick overview of what's going on in town. Joe addressed the crowd and thanked them on behalf of the commission. And our folks from the chambers also gave a quick spiel. So it'll probably be a similar flow this year. And Lauren and I also talked about it's a great opportunity to get the businesses to do that, that 2-minute survey while they're there and they're in-house. So we'll just really want to do a strong push for outreach over the next
You
2
gotta
months
push, you gotta push Bruce.
in terms of inviting folks.
Because he has the database, he has the resource, he's the face out there. He's already got 2 of them, both, so.
And they did
Bruce
support
will
us
be
last
able
time.
to help get that, because this is a small team, but Bruce has the resource, so he could help us significantly.
Yep. They supported us last time in reaching out to, I think they did a segmented list because it's just for Groton businesses. And small team but mighty. I did a lot of outreach on my own last year and it amounted to maybe 3 hours and I got to, I think, 60 businesses. So it's just popping in, giving the card, saying thanks, and here's the date.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you need authority from us? Do you need a vote?
We don't, since
Okay.
we're down to just the fishermen. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
Do we have some good fish?
I have had fish.
For breakfast.
Not been like this.
Not for breakfast. Do we pass lunch yet?
You can eat fish for breakfast.
You can, but not many people do.
No, not many. Okay, any other questions?
Bill, you think we could pass that information to some of our customers at GU?
Well, this is for business owners.
Hmm?
This is gonna be just for business owners.
Yeah, because at GU,
Do you have commercial?
or,
Could you pass it to like your commercial customers?
We could, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
You know,
since
let
we
me know what
cover.
you want to have, send out and I can reach out and
Yeah, I just,
see how we can make that happen.
yeah, you just don't have to do it to residential. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Thank you.
Are you specifically looking for a specific industry or anything like that, or is it just business?
Nope,
Check
that's
the
Groton
board
business owners.
businesses that we have in our
Yeah.
registry.
Hillary will be there.
You don't say.
So for the law office of.
Down again, I'll be there. ELLC as of last week, so, yeah.
We'll celebrate your 3-year
you.
anniversary.
Yeah, right, sure.
All right, chair report. I reported what I earlier. Staff.
Yes, we just have 2 brief items. So our team has a community conversation series that we host in spring and fall, and this is to invite residents to learn about hot topics in town. And we usually do a presentation and a Q&A and have different engagement activities for folks to learn and provide feedback. We just did one on February 26th on our missing middle housing project that we're working on. And essentially, this is a study that's looking at Groton and different types of missing middle housing, which is smaller types of housing that fit 1 or 2 families. You're looking at duplexes, triplexes, mixed use buildings, accessory dwelling units, things that you might not notice are there, but a lot of folks are utilizing, and it's helping housing more than just your single family house. And we're looking at this because we obviously need the larger apartment complexes, but how can we utilize every inch of space that we have and help incentivize folks to make larger dwelling options in just the single family homes. So we invited folks to learn about this study, get comfortable with that. We have a lot of great photos that show examples. So you might walk by a house that you didn't even realize 4 families work in, and that's in your neighborhood and you love. So also getting folks comfortable with the idea that there can be more than just the single family home, and that people, the town doesn't fall apart. And with that, we had a lot of conversation, which is the point of those events, and asking people about their own personal housing journeys to kind of, open that conversation, and folks realize, in talking, you don't just start in a single family home. That's usually where you get to. Everyone starts in apartments or ADUs, and getting people comfortable with that type of housing as we're looking at as many ways as we can to help fill the gap for the amount of units that we need. And this will also help inform our plan of conservation and development and a lot of our other work in the future. And then second, we're working on our Groton Heights excess property development, and we had our town council select a preferred developer out of New London, Connecticut. It's ECHO, or Eastern Connecticut Housing Solutions, or excuse me, Opportunities. And they are proposing to keep the building. It's a historic building from 1912. And it would include the environmental remediation of that building, converting it into 17 units of affordable housing, as well as recreation space, different sustainability features, as well as revamping the landscaping. They would also participate in the land swap with Bill Memorial Library, which was requested by the town council. And then our next steps are we're hosting as staff a Q&A with the development team on March 10th, so Tuesday, open to the public. And then there's a public hearing on April 7th that town council will have before finalizing ECHO. And we wanted to make sure that the Q&A was before that, so folks are informed for the public hearing. And then we also just launched a greatergroton.com page where everyone can learn. Basically, I designed this page so that you can learn about everything. It's a one-stop shop, all information for the project, so that as folks have questions, even our counselors know they can go to this site and learn everything there is to learn about what's happened, what comes next, and what this project is proposing. So that way residents are informed before the public hearing on April 7th. That is that for the updates.
What's what address of the property is that?
244 Monument Street.
Also, it's.
Yeah, it's right, yeah,
Yeah, oh, it's.
right next to the library.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's the old Groton Heights.
Yeah, there Mahan was
Yes.
looking at.
Yes,
that
yeah,
parcel.
it's been vacant for, gosh, almost
Almost.
20 years now, so, yeah.
And it'd be affordable housing.
Yeah, at a mix of incomes, Echo specializes in the financing and specialty needed to manage properties with that type of financing. Yeah, there's like greater. And but what's great about it too is the way that they utilize the different ranges of income. It's a really positive environment, and we're talking about workforce housing too. It's just regular folks, police officers, teachers, a whole scale of AMIs that, it just makes those units a little bit more affordable for people.
Do we have on our website all the,
There's one way to find out. Go to it.
like all the projects that we have that is going on in town? Where a new restaurant or whatever. Like the one that is in the old pizza place.
Yeah,
So-
impastas is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Impastos.
Impasta?
Impastos.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least people know what these developments are as they drive by and have a clue what's going on.
So,
Because people ask me, what's coming up there, George?
mhm,
I say,
yeah. There's a planning website that you can track permits and different things coming online. But there is not one that the town hosts overall for all projects coming online.
So what's coming up across the fire department? On Long Hill?
That's a gas station convenience store.
Is that multi-story gas station?
The 2-story.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tall ceiling. Kind of like that. That's a lot of them look like that down south, but
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be a big convenience store.
Bees or whatever kind of thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, liaison reports.
You wanna go? I'll go first.
Yeah, can you just turn your mic off, please?
Could do the coin
Turn it
flip.
on, okay. All right, so, I have quite a bit, kind of a annual review, starting with the conservation and sustainability programs, which is what I had. We had a pretty good year for 2025. I handed out about $1.7 million in energy efficiency rebates, everything from audits to mini splits to insulation. We saw a lot of demand for these type of things. This year so far, it's fallen off a cliff. Not sure exactly why.
So the mini split thing went away. I know.
The federal incentives have
Yeah.
gone away.
got
We're
that
not
in
seeing
December.
the demand for that. Not sure if it's generally a more economic kind of downturn issue. But I'm seeing, I was seeing 8 a week mini splits, and now I'm seeing 2 this month so far. When not this last month. So I'm not seeing what I was hoping to see this year. So I'm seeing a big slowdown in those things. We did do some upgrades, infrastructure upgrades in the electric division this past year. We completed a $350,000 investment to refurbish Buddington Station, the transformer there. We finalized inspections and refurbishments for our concrete tower structures near I-95 crossing. Just steel towers and that type of thing for high voltage coming down to EB and others. System-wide modernization and maintenance. We've gone to a new computerized maintenance management system. It's called Trimble Unity. The platform allows a data-driven preventative maintenance of substation assets, relays, breakers, transformers, that type of thing, to basically manage when things should be replaced, not based on what it looks like, but knowing that they have a life type of thing. So we've done quite a bit of vegetation management. We were doing a 5-day-a-week trimming schedule, as you probably have run into. I know that I've run into it a number of times. So we're getting a good handle on that. Our water division, we applied for and was awarded a $5.7 million grant to replace roughly 2 miles water main existing in Military Highway, Grove Avenue, and Fairview Avenue. It's supportive of increased fire suppression and resiliency to subbase. And so construction is estimated to begin late summer, early fall of this year. Still working on lead service line inventory. I think we're ahead of schedule for that. I don't have a lot of real details for that. Let me see. It's more rebates and things like that, which is kind of boring. We do have a new online customer portal. I'm told it's better than ever. And it's basically when you go on and you check your account and that type of thing. And then my co-partner wanted to let me know about Neighborhood Assistant Act. It's a tax credit program. Apparently we gave out $144,230.77 last year. And that was presented, to support replacement of the HVAC system at the Groton Community Center. That's basically it for me.
Okay, cool. Pass it around, I guess. So we've been working with TCOG, the Council of Governments, to update what is known now as the Compatible Use Plan, call it. This used to be the JLUS, if you remember that term, the Joint Language Study. So this plan looks at, it's funded by the DoD through same group that's doing the water main replacement, OLDCC there, Office of Local Defense Community Corporation. They fund these plans to assure that subbase and all military bases can continue to function, that there's not any impediments to their completing their mission and no incompatibilities. And it used to be really looking at the more physical things, but now they've kind of expanded it a bit, and it's looking a little bit more at quality of life issues for for the sailors at the subbase, the employees at subbase, and also people around the base too. So it's kind of, the aperture's kind of opened up a little bit. So we've had several meetings where we've talked to different groups, to get their opinions on where they think the speed bumps are, where the problems are, what kind of problems they're having, and things like that. We've met with command at the base, we've met with public, we've met with workers on the base, we met with a group that's represents the families of the folks on the base, and so we've had quite a few meetings. We've got a couple more, but we just did one a couple weeks ago, which was the workers on the base, and I did the notes for that one, so I happen to have them. So I thought I'd share some of that with you. There's going to be a formal report coming out of the plan, coming out with the problems or issues listed and some proposed solutions or way to address those issues. So this is really preliminary, but I just thought I'd throw it out there so you kind of have an idea. These are just kind of opinions of what people that work on the base, mainly sailors, what they see, what they they're in some levels comparing it to other bases, right? So in some cases, they're not aware of things, so maybe it's actually not a problem, they're just not aware of things. And in some cases, there are issues, and many of these you already know about, and some of them we talked about tonight. So I'll just go through them really quick. Obviously, housing is a big issue. Lots of complaints about the affordability of housing and the availability of different types of housing. And yeah, we got some comments that a lot of the new housing that's being built, they're mainly apartments, and they're thinking, we need some more like bigger houses for larger families. So just something that they were mentioning. Utility costs, we got a lot of comments about utilities, and I'm not reporting everything, just things I think that you kind of have a little something to do with, or maybe have some pull on in really utility costs, because I figured Bill would be here. But people are really complaining about utility costs. A lot of these people are coming from, from other places, Texas and other places where utilities are a lot cheaper, and they're just blown away by how expensive things are. Obviously, Groton Utilities is the best choice if you're in the area. They're the cheapest. But still, it's a lot more expensive than anywhere else in the country. So it's
I'll say highest value.
Yeah, yeah. They're great.
Good wordsmith, thank you.
They're great, but still, it's very hard. It really takes in, hurts the sailors' budgets. They don't make a lot of money. Childcare, lack of affordability, lack of availability, long wait times. And a few of the folks mentioned that it's just not worth, as you were saying, it's just not worth going to work, because you end up spending your whole paycheck on childcare, or more in some cases. So that was an issue. Spousal employment. Connecticut's actually pretty good with the professional license reciprocity, but there's still some issues, like sometimes to get a license, you have to go do a refresher course, or some certain thing that's required in Connecticut, and sometimes that costs a lot of money or takes a lot of time. It just makes it just not worth it sometimes for some of these spouses. So that was an issue that we heard a bit about.
Is there some kind of job board or anything? Like, is there a way to connect with these people who are looking for work? I mean, what's the best way to find somebody who wants that?
Well, they just look for work through the normal channels.
Okay.
We do occasionally have job fairs on the base.
Yeah.
For different positions. So I don't believe there's a Navy job board or something like that. This is mainly spouses that are looking, but there's a lot of folks that are like doctors and nurses and things like that. So so this one,
paralegals, associate attorneys, say
probably. I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of them.
I was wondering if we're going through all the businesses, right? Like, if they need employees, like, I think it would be a natural choice to, like, if the sub base has like spouses or something that are there that are looking for work, be a pretty easy connection of like, oh yeah, you could like go talk to the sub base or something. Like, if you guys, I don't know if you have anything that like is
I'm not aware of
central
like
resource,
any, but it's something that could, we could work on that. Figure out a way to.
I need somebody to
put the two sides together. Yeah. So the next category really is right up your alley directly, and that's retail, entertainment, things like that. Participants noted a disappearance of mom and pop shops, small shops. They kind of missed that. Obviously, with Amazon and everything, things have changed over the last several years, but they do miss that. There's a apparent lack of indoor recreation for teenagers, and even things like Top Golf. They have to go all the way to Manchester. A lot of they like those kinds of activities, not only the kids but also the adults. There's just not a lot of that around here, is their perception. They indicate this perception that a lot of businesses are leaving the area, that they have to drive to Manchester or West Hartford to get some of the variety that they want. One thing that they mentioned, which I thought was interesting, and to try and take care of themselves, is there's a fair population of Australians on the base now, and it'd be nice to have something for them. Some kind of a store that kind of caters to them. I'm sure there's not enough people just to support a whole store, but
do you know how long they're going to be here?
Years.
Okay.
Because it's a long-term thing.
Well, I know I worked at EB, so I know that I was there when they signed the agreement, but I don't know how long. I don't know if they're like our normal sailors that do like a couple year rotations and end up leaving, or
They're here for
if they're gonna
tra-
come for a long time and stay like a decade?
What my understanding is at this point, most of them are here doing training.
Okay.
I think they do get maybe integrated into some of the crews at some point, so some may stick around or they may go to other places. But they're here for sub school mainly right now. And they do come for months on end. You know, they're
Okay.
not here for just. a couple
Like
weeks.
less than a year typically.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the
Typically.
profit margin on Vegemite? I mean, like.
Like,
Oh.
yeah, what kind of things are they looking for?
I'm not sure, but it's just something they mentioned. We're trying to.
Somebody to host a
So-
barbecue.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Trip on it. Yeah.
And I know you've never heard that people want a Trader Joe's. So that's
Yeah, never
news
heard
for
that.
you. Healthcare, one thing we got our ears full with dental care, there's a shortage of dentists, especially dentists that take TRICARE or United Concordia, which is one of their insurance companies. Long waits, you know, kids have problem to have a, you know, toothaches, and it takes months to get into a doctor sometimes, so it's a big problem. Transportation, limited public transportation options, is a problem. A lot of the young sailors don't have cars. We do have Uber that comes onto base now, but even that's limited as far as the number of Uber drivers that are vetted to come on the base.
So seat doesn't come there?
They have a bus stop, you know, out at the road, but you know how infrequent they come and things. It's kind of difficult.
Out
to-
at midnight getting them back from the bar.
Yeah, and that's something they mentioned too, that some of the young sailors like to go out and have partake in you know, adult beverages, and they have no way to get home. They end up with DUIs and things. So if there was a better transit system, that would be nice. So you know, so that's basically it. But you know, and a lot of this is like the retail, you know, a lot of these folks are coming from like Virginia, where there's, you know, huge shopping centers every half mile down every road, you know, or you know, other places like that, Texas. So it's kind of hard to compare, but it's their perception. So I thought you might like to know about it and just.
So Steve,
you know, for
I'm
what it's worth.
curious, going back to the utilities, being the utilities commissioner as well.
Yeah.
Is there any money from OLDCC that would give us subsidize? That we could subsidize their cost?
No, I mean, well, they do, they are like funding that water main
Because
project.
the
Um,
Pentagon budget is 1 trillion. Could they give
We have
GU
some of
some
that.
money to subsidize their?
They just did. They're giving them what, $6 million,
Yeah,
almost $7 million with the studies for infrastructure, not for the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
not
I'm
for the
thinking
actual
if
rates,
these
but-
servicemen come here, they can't afford. Can the Department of War subsidize, I mean, maybe this is offline.
I mean, they do to some extent because they give them a BAH, a basic housing allowance, which is supposed to include money for all of that. If they stay in housing, Balfour Beatty housing on base, it's all covered as part of that, I believe. But a lot of them want to stay off base. They want to, you know, live out in the town. So they get what they get, and then if they pay more, I guess it's on them. So
Excellent.
and of course, if they don't spend it, I guess they get to keep it. So, but
I
yeah,
wish
so-
Paul was still staying here so we could ask him all these things.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a long term, like I said, there's gonna be a formal plan coming out, I think sometime later this summer, fall. And there'll be another hearing to talk about that, and you'll certainly get a copy of that. And there'll be some recommendations in there on how to address some of these things, so. It's interesting, they're very interesting meetings, and actually learned some things, and it's interesting to hear, you know, what their comments are. And I know the town wants to know these things, because you don't always get that feedback. And again, some of it's perception, you know, like there was one, this was the mother saying she's hard for her to buy clothes for her kids. She doesn't want to necessarily go to Walmart, Kohl's, you know, and there's just not, she says there's not a lot of places, and maybe she doesn't know where they are. But that's, you know, perception. So maybe some advertising, some kind of a list or something, you know, that's something.
Yeah, 'cause there's 2 indoor golf places in Groton. 2 on 184.
Again, it might be
Indoor
totally-
golf, they were talking about the Top Golf.
Oh.
It's not a Top Golf, but it's a.
Yeah.
Is it
Indoor
one
golf.
just like a retail store where you just buy stuff? It doesn't have like hitting and whatnot.
They both have
simulator.
a
Yeah, they
simulator.
both
right?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they
Okay.
both have sim.
Top Golf's like a restaurant and bar, and
Yeah.
it's like a whole.
Well, the other one, it's better than
Golfing
Top
folks.
Golf because you can bring your own beer.
Which one's that?
That's the one next to the old, It's-
Sports.
no, not Great Brook. It's the little one, right where,
Oh.
The one
that's
across the street
wrong.
from Gold Star Pizza?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Spent a couple Father's Days there.
Or Gold Star Pizza?
No,
Well, that, you know.
I should have went and
advertising-
did that.
Advertising or public awareness might be something that needs to happen, you know, that,
But would that be the sub basis purview?
well, to an extent, we can't advertise businesses, you know, we can't do that, because then another business will say, well, why aren't you advertising us? But
If after we get like a pretty robust list, if we gave you a list, could you hand it out to sales?
the best thing for you to do would probably to do it on a website, and then we can tell the people, you know, go to this website, and it's where all the, and you can keep it up to date, and this is where all the cool stuff is in Groton and surrounding areas, whatever.
And we are working on that now with our website revamp, so we'll have essentially have it be a one-stop shop for those types of things, like looking for businesses. And we're hoping to have some additional features like spend a day in Groton, you know, brewery tours or things to do for families and those kinds of things. So those are in the queue for us. We're just working on the content.
And we can certainly put that out. It's like a
Yeah.
town thing, you know, so here's some things to do on the weekend, you know, go check this website out.
Right.
That's, you know, that's perfectly fine for us. We just can't. advertise it.
Maybe we should co-host events with the subbase.
Hmm?
Maybe the town of Groton should co-host events with the subbase.
I was gonna talk, you know, offline afterwards, that, you know, you're doing the business luncheon and, you know, we certainly can host things at the base, either at the museum, which is easiest. We can even host things on the base. We had the EDC, well, some of you came from EDC, but
Oh, yeah.
mainly it was the COG that came to the base. We had a little breakfast, a little
Okay,
meeting,
yeah.
and then we did some tours. I mean, actually, they went on one of our boats. Which was really cool, but the only problem going on base is you have to be a citizen, you have to have the real ID, which, you know, most people are citizens and have real ID, so it's not a huge impediment, but if you wanted to have a business breakfast at the base, you know, we could do that somehow.
Great.
Um,
Thank you.
you know, and the captain could give a little presentation talking a little bit about the base too, so.
But thank you guys. Thank you for the reports. That brings us to other business. Anyone have any other business? All right, and then I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anything? All right. Adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any money to Hardin